Welcome to the season 0 tier list of Marvel Rivals. So with this tier list, I want to say off the rip, this is not based off of team ups. This is just based off of just the character individually. And we're going to go with tanks, DPS, and healers. That's the order we're going to go with. That's just how it goes in the game. So that being said, I think the worst tank in the game, in my opinion, has got to be Cap. Because Cap has long cooldowns on his skills, and on top of that, Cap also isn't really good at outputting as much damage as the other tanks. So we also have Ghost here. So Ghost, what are your opinions on that?
Agree. He's not the best. He could definitely be a lot better. He's really only good at fighting like one-on-one. He's got to run away. If you run into the team and his shield gets low, he's just got to run. But it is handy to be able to reflect ultimates back and block ultimates with the shield.
Yeah, that's the one pro he has. So also, that being said, the next tank I think is lower, but not as bad as Cap. I think Ghost will agree, is Hulk. I think Hulk is a terrible solo tank. And it's not just because I think that he can get smoked quickly. I think that is also because that a lot of people don't want to play around the Hulk, which makes him really bad. Because with the other tanks, more people tend to be around them more, and Hulk kind of has to dive a little bit as a tank. Even though he has a shield and a stun, it just is slightly better than Cap, but still pretty bad. What do you think? Do you agree?
Hulk has a little bit more utilities as an off tank to offset his weaknesses and play off of stronger tank play from another one.
So if he's a solo tank, just off only one on the team, he would say C tier. But teamed up with someone as another tank, he would say potentially B tier, or probably B, right? With another tank.
If they know how to play tank, yeah.
Solo tank, I think he's C. I think Cap is D. Moving forward though, I would say C tier tank, who I think is good, depending on the team, who can do a lot by themselves. I think Groot is someone who's good. C to B, I would rate Groot, but I don't know if it's that much better than Hulk for it to be a B tier. So what do you think, Ghost? Do you put it Groot as a C or a B?
I think Groot's a good C tier, or I mean B tier tank.
Dude, if we talk about the ults too, like Cap's ult is good. And technically, I think Cap's ult is better than Hulk's ult. Because Hulk's ult just smashed them and just tossed them around a little bit.
Well, no, Hulk's ult, you get enhanced, quicker cooldowns, bigger damage and everything.
And then you do the smash.
If you do the smash, you exit it, which it's not worth doing the smash.
Well, most people do the
That's more
smash.
just like a meme. That's just like a haha type funny thing to do.
Yeah,
It's not really all that good.
That's what I see a lot more Hulk doing, which is why I rate Hulk higher than Cap, but still not higher than Groot. I think Groot's ult is good because you could group up people together with his ult, and Groot can wall off people, isolate them from a team. I'd give Groot that B. I'd give Groot that B for sure. Another tank though that I think would also go in B tier, thinking Venom or Magneto.
I would say Venom's more of an A tier tank.
Solo Venom?
Not necessarily a solo Venom, but Venom in general. We're not basing this off of solos.
So you think Venom could A tier hold it down?
Yeah, when there's another tank, he's good at diving the backlines, breaking them up, keeping them separate. He can keep himself alive with his ability when he gets low health to max his health back out to full, and then he can swing away. This is just a good dive tank. He's good at harassing the people that want to try to play off point, or like the healers in the back lines. He can disrupt them and keep them thinking.
That's almost like kind of what Groot could do.
No, Groot doesn't do anything like that. Groot is a hold the point down type of tank.
But Groot can push up and then, throw walls and
He can,
disrupt.
but he's not as good at it. He's not as good as Venom for breaking up backlines and stuff. Groot's more of just a hold the front down type of tank.
Yeah, I could agree with that. That's what I do when I play Groot. Where in this ranking would you rate Thor?
Thor's a good B tier, I would say. He's a high B, maybe could be A depending on the player.
I would say he's definitely high B to A. Because pretty sure Thor's one of those tanks where he can 1v1 and win most of his fights compared to the other tanks. I mean, Magneto, granted, he could do that a little bit because he has the shield. But I think Thor does it a little bit better than Magneto if there was a 1v1. Thor's ult's also pretty good. I do like it when it lands. I think Thor's would be I'd give him a high B. Above Groot for sure. I don't think as good as Venom, but from high B or behind Venom. We'll leave him at high B for now. Magneto though, I think Magneto has a lot of use, but without a Scarlet, I think his tier list does make him go a little bit lower than the other tanks. So I would say safe to say he could be a B as well.
Yeah, he could be a B tier, yeah.
Because he has the shield that you can put on to others. He has his shield and the one that blocks. So it's not bad. But the last two, Penny and Doctor Strange, I would say Penny could really be anywhere between A and S. I might even argue B
if people know how to play her, but I would put her in a high B tier.
Yeah, I might even argue
if
B.
People know how to play her, because she can be hard if she can't keep her spider nest up and you can't stay on there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When it comes
She's
to
gonna
Penny,
struggle.
You have to know how to set up your web, your little spider bombs nest properly. But other than that, I would say A to B. Some might put her in S because she's good, but that depends on the Penny. But aside from that, I would say A to B, but she could get to an S. I think that would make her. I think I'll be good putting her. I think I'll put her A. And then with Doctor Strange, I think he's by far the best tank right now. He has that big shield. He has the shield that's massive. He has a portal, and that portals can be used to get your team back to a point quick.
Get behind the line.
The portal has so much
versatility.
Use. It has a lot of use. Like you could do it in multiple different ways. So that's why he's probably the best. And his ult is very good when it hits. That's the tanks right there. When it comes to DPS though, we have a lot. Quite a few DPSs. That being said though, we're gonna start with Squirrel Girl. I think the Squirrel Girl is okay.
C.
I would agree with C. I agree that she's a C tier. Her acorns are okay. The stun she has is good. Ult is alright, but there's just other people who do it a little bit better.
Do the same thing, but can do it better. Yeah.
When it comes to Black Panther, a lot of people don't know how to play Black Panther, but I can't put him low on the tier list because they don't know how to play him. So I would say a good Black Panther is either B or A tier in my opinion. I wouldn't say he's S tier because you really got to know what you're doing with him.
He's good at diving, taking on the back lines, making the back lines panic and rush around.
You can hit your resets and you know the combos. I would say you're an A rate character for sure on the tier list. As a Black Panther, I would say he'd be an A because he's strong. He has mix ups, the ult, and then get a reset. Like he has a lot of things that make him very strong as a character.
A lot of things that go for him. Yeah.
I would say Spider-Man. I want to give him an A as well. But when it comes
I
to
would put him in a B tier.
B tier,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some good Spider-Mans out there that can give you an A tier. Because what does he have? He has the swing, right? And then that gives him movement to go around, take out the weaker people. He has the web, and he could like pull you off the map. And he has his uppercut that you can combo into.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can just deal with him, like he isn't like one of the biggest threats. He likes to dive a lot, but if he can't hit his shit, he isn't that big of a threat, you know.
That is true because a lot of them have been easily dealt with by Scarlet. With that being said, though, Scarlet would, I think, probably one of the easiest DPS, one of the most fun. Has some versatility in her kit because you can go invis, move around, even though you can be tracked pretty easily. You have an infinite attack. It doesn't do the most damage, but it does a lot of damage if you're using her properly. And you have your spears that you throw as well. So with that, I would say I would give Scarlet, out of just that alone, I would say she lands between A and B.
I would say she's a B tier. She's got a good ult, but the ult, like, unless you're playing people who aren't paying attention or aren't very good or stunned, she's easily dealt with. Like, she's not that big of a threat on the ult if you just focus her down.
Yeah. The next DPS I would say we should talk about Storm. Storm got the movement for the extra damage buff, but based off of just me playing Storm a little bit, I wouldn't say
Storm's a low tier character. She's not the best. She's more of a support than a DPS in all actuality. Because she's just movement, speed, and damage, and she doesn't have, other than her ult, she doesn't have any crazy damage herself.
Yeah, so I would say she could go at C. I wouldn't put Storm at B. I would say C tier for sure. Punisher, I would say Punisher could be an A tier character for DPS. He has his assault rifle. You can switch that to a shotgun. So at close range, you have that. You have a turret you can set up.
Shotgun's more powerful. Is his best weapon to use in the game.
And he also has the grapple.
It's the strongest.
Plus, he has the smoke screen, and his ult is high damage. So I'd say Punisher's an A tier for sure.
Yeah, he's a good A tier.
Someone I might say is an S tier is Bucky, Winter Soldier. I say S or A. I wouldn't give them lower than an A, but Bucky's ult is good. Bucky can one shot people like other DPSs, and he can do quite a lot of damage on a
He
tank.
has his stun with his grab, and he can pull people out of position to get them killed by the team. He's good with, he's got his thing that slows people down, and so you can help people trying to run away in a team fight. You can slow them down and help get the picks. His punch gives him a little bit of an overshield, so if you're getting low in a fight against a tank, you can punch him, get some shield back, or move with it to relocate a little bit.
I would say he could go A or S. I'd probably say safer bet as an A. But
he's a high tier A with his abilities. His ult is his best thing, with the fact that he can spam multiple
resets.
He gets
crazy.
Picks.
So I would say A.
Agreed.
Someone else who's pretty good to put on that A, I might say, is Psylocke. I think Psylocke's an A. I think Psylocke could also be an S, but that depends on the Psylocke person. If they got the combos down and everything like that, then I would say that you can put them as
I would say an A tier character.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Psylocke lower than an A.
She's good, but she's people just don't know how to use her right. Her ult's really strong for breaking up a team fight or diving into the backlines to take out supports and stuff. But if you catch her with no mobility, if she doesn't have her abilities, she's easy pickings.
I agree.
She can't really take on like a tank really like that.
Another person who I think is in the lower tiers of DPS is Wolverine. I would say he could go with the C, because I haven't found a good Wolverine in my time playing this game, and I've barely seen any Wolverines at all. Because I just don't think Wolverine is
very weak
compared to the other ones.
Other melee DPSs, he's extremely weak.
Yeah, so he falls short. So for that, I would say he has to go with C. D tier?
I might put him in D tier. Like, he's really not that good. His best thing he's got going for him is the fact that his passive, where he can come back with more health with an overshield when he would have died and can keep fighting, is good, but it kind of hurts him.
Well, when people lunge properly, and because you can lunge, take away a player and mess them up, or you could even dive them off the map with you if they can't fly. We gotta really be smart with that. So I would say C. A person who I would put in D for DPS would be Iron Man, on the fact that he is that one character that once people figure out he's on the team, you can get hit so hard that any Iron Man person who goes against a good person to counter him will probably switch off or quit the game. because you can't really do much other than fly around. But when people target you out the sky every time you respawn, you're not gonna have a good match. And you're making, and then at that point, it's a 5v6.
His damage isn't all that crazy other than his ult. He has the AoE and stuff that's nice. He's a really good, like, beginner character for low tier people, like in the low tiers, but when you get to the higher tiers, he's not really picked that much.
Person that I would say is really strong in the game for DPS wise is Hella. A good Hella will
Hella's
definitely.
She's the best DPS character in the game. She's
I think a good Hella is so good.
Crazy headshot damage. She's got a stun. Her ult's extremely strong.
And she can escape with her turning into the crow.
She has mobility, escapes. Like, she's probably, I would say, she's the best DPS character in the game, hands down, easily.
Another strong DPS, I'd say Star-Lord. A good Star-Lord, I would say is a good DPS. Are they S tier? I don't think so. I would say for A tier. I wouldn't say B tier. I would say A tier because they have a lot of use. The mobility, the mix-up, you get the reload as well. So shoot, you get hit your L2, reload, continue shooting again, fly around. Then you have your L1, which is like your spray of moves in a circle. So I think Star-Lord's pretty good. I think he's an A tier. And the ult is really strong. I like the ult a lot. Do you say he's an A or an S? I feel like he could be argued for an S, but I think he's an
S tier character. If he gets caught out without having his fly, he gets caught, he's easy to pick off. Same kind of things like with Iron Man when you're flying around. If you're playing a good DPS like a good Hella it's a hit scan character that can just shoot him out of the sky, you're kind of out of luck. He's good at like flanking and going around the back to pester backlines.
I think Neymar is someone that people kind of sleep on. I think he's pretty good. I think his little octopus turret is really useful. It's annoying, but it's useful. And his ult is pretty good when it hits. I don't know exactly where I'd put him. I would want to say between B and A, like a high B or an A tier. I don't think anywhere lower than that. But that being said, though, I think he should go in A. I
would say B. I would say he's a high B. He's not anything too crazy, like other than.
You know what? I'll say high B, only for the fact that this is just the solo Neymar. Because with the team up, I would give him an A. So just off of that, I would give him a B.
He's a good B tier character. He can be strong, but without like the team up. Yeah. He isn't anything too oppressive that you can't really deal with.
Oh yeah, for sure. Give him that B without the team up. Moon Knight. See, Moon Knight's a little tricky because I don't think he's an S. I'm not sure. For me, he falls anywhere between C to A because if you take away the Yonk, you don't put them up anywhere. I haven't seen a Moon Knight without Unks do as much as they do with Unks around.
I mean, he's still a high B to like an A tier character because I mean, you don't necessarily have to only hit with the Unks. If they're like all together and you're just attacking them in general, it ricochets in between all of them still without the Unks. His ult's not the best. He can still do pretty good damage without his onks, but with his onks as a little surprise throw in the team fight, He can do a lot of damage, and he
That's
can
what I'm
hold it
saying.
down.
Anywhere from C to A for me, I would think that's where Moon Knight would lie. I'm okay with having him probably probably high B, but
Yeah,
other than that, I don't think he's the most dangerous DPS because, as I said, those honestly get shot down. I don't see a lot of them doing a lot of DPS. But aside from that, I say Hawkeye. Hawkeye might be, for me personally, Hawkeye could be between E to A, maybe S.
I would say A because, I mean, Hela does pretty much everything he does, but better. Where Hawkeye can get the one shots on people, but it's if you can consistently hit the headshots, that's when he's good. If you can't consistently bang out the headshots and get all of them, he's gonna struggle. His ult can be good if he can hit his shots, but that's the issue. Is if you can actually consistently hit the headshots with the charge up to get the one shots.
And then Black Widow, I feel should follow up. I personally, I think Black Widow is B to C, but maybe with more time on Black Widow, it might go to an A.
Widow's not that strong in total. Like,
That's what I'm
once
saying,
again,
B to C, because Widow's
I
not
would
terrible.
say she's not all that great either with all of her other things. Yeah, she has a sprint to be able to run and jump to relocate some, but it's still pretty easy to shoot her if she tries to run away.
You would say C, right?
I would, yeah.
That's kind of where I was leaning towards. I just don't think. I think they could have done more at Black Widow, and then they could have done a little bit
With just
better
her
on the
not
kit.
lacking the ability to have a one-shot headshot on like squishier targets, I think that's why she's gonna fall down lower, because she still has to follow up shot to confirm the kill on people. She has to get 2 shots, and since it's a bolt action sniper, it is a little bit slower.
So our last 2 DPSs, I think, are very strong. I could say they could both go to S tier. Magic, I think Magic's really good. I think Magic's ult is good. I also think Magic's R1 and 2, just the basic R2, is also really strong. The L1 invincibility between
The
teleporting,
teleporting and her
is,
dash.
I think all that is Magic and S, in my opinion. I wouldn't give it anything lower than an A. Top of the A tier, for sure. I think top A or S.
And then her getting her the life steal from hitting targets is pretty strong. Can keep her alive a lot longer if she's hitting multiple targets.
So, do you also agree with the S? I think an S.
I would say A tier. She's not an S tier. She's really good, but she's not like.
I'm gonna put
necessarily.
top of A for sure. I think that's very fair.
Because she can also still get dealt with extremely quick if she jumps into the team fight. If everyone focuses on her, I think that's a GG. Like, she dies quickly. I play her. She would just die extremely fast.
So Iron Fist, I think Iron Fist is really good. I think Iron Fist might be the second best DPS compared to Hela. Some people might say the best, but I can't disagree with him being S or top of A tier.
He's definitely an S tier character because he has
The heal,
the fact that he has a heal that if he's diving in the back, he can switch to heal when he runs away. He has his pretty much invincibility with his ability to use the defensive ability. He's pretty strong.
pretty good.
His
Pretty
tracking
solid.
with his punches is crazy. He has triple jumps. He can wall run. Like everything that he has like that is extremely strong.
Yeah, because he's good getting in and getting out. So they made him very solid in the game. Personally, he's better than I thought he would be just off of just looking at him before playing him. I'm just like, okay. And then I played him like pretty strong, solid character all around. Really nothing
He
really
can
nothing
deal with
bad.
characters that fly away, like Iron Man and stuff, that try to fly and run. His punches can track, and he can get
Just starts
pretty
kicking
easy
you.
picks on him.
He just jumps and kicks you.
When
All
he
right.
starts punching, and his punches can track. He has the triple jump that's charging while he's doing that, so he can just keep the pressure on and keep chasing.
We now have
And his
our
ult's extremely strong.
healers. Personally, worst healer. I don't know if we have a worst healer. I don't think we have a D tier healer. I really think we have majority A, B, and S tier healers. With that being said, though, I know that this is gonna be a controversial topic because Loki is a healer, but most Lokis don't really heal. They really, at least in my experience, most Lokis do more damage than healing. They can heal. They have that ability to have that green aura on the ground where you can stand in it, but that can get shot if you shoot the top of it and it can break. So I would say Loki.
People tend to play him as a DPS rather than a healer.
Would you rate Loki as a B or an A?
I mean, as an all-around, I would say, like, he could be an A all-around, but it's just, he has issues with people that can't get the healing off properly.
I think Loki's really strong.
I mean, I would still
damage
put him
good.
as an A tier if the people are good at healing, can focus on that. I would say he's an A tier character easily.
When it comes to Rocket, Rocket's pretty okay. I like Rocket's revive station. Rocket has a pretty good ult, but is Rocket a B
He has
tier?
some mobility with him. He lacks a lot of the ability to be able to, like, damage to help with that. Somewhat compared
I would say
to
Rocket's
other characters.
I say Rocket could fall into B tier for me for healers.
I would agree. B tier, like that.
Adam Warlock, he's cool. He has a res ult. He also has the ability to res himself when he dies the first time. He has a nice charge up that can shoot 5 at once, which is pretty good. Does a little bit of damage there. But I'm not sure. I would say for me, Adam Warlock also between B and A tier because of those.
And the issue with him he has two relatively strong, like the strong healing, but it's on a pretty relatively long cooldown, which can kind of hurt him.
So I would for that
the
for
team.
mainly that. That's why I would say B or A. So I would think more B than A. I wouldn't say C. I don't think there's a C tier healer at all.
They're all relatively strong when it comes to that.
So some of the better healers, I would say, in my opinion, I think Cloak and Dagger. In my opinion, I think the next 4 healers are between A and S. I don't think any of them fall to B. I would say Cloak and Dagger, in my opinion, is an A or an S because as a 2-in-1, you get damage and you get heals. You also have a blind and an invis, and it can counter Jeff ult when you take away your whole team and make them invis with Cloak. So that's why I think between S and A.
I would say she's probably the second best healer in the game behind Mantis. In general, like her ult's good. She does a good bit. The damage is pretty good. You can cover an area in it, and it heals.
Yeah, so I'm thinking S.
I would say she's the second best healer out of all of them. I would say S tier, yeah.
I think Luna Snow is really good, really strong. I would argue S, but I know that
I would say she's an A tier because one of the draws is in her ult she can't do anything. She can't deal damage. Yeah, she can buff up damage and she can keep healing up and she can pretty much make people immortal for a little bit. But she can't deal damage herself, so you're down a fighter in a fight.
yeah,
You're
but
using
that's
her
okay.
ult.
I would say for that reason, I would give her high A, but
Yeah, she's definitely an
aside
A
from
tier
that,
character.
I would say she could be an S. So we'll give Luna a high A. Mantis, I think Mantis is fantastic. I think Mantis is a great healer. I would say Mantis S. Mantis has, I would say, good damage because Mantis can boost their own damage. Good heals, can boost teammate. Great ult.
She has stuns.
Yep, that's what puts you to
She
sleep.
gets over healing with her ultimate. I would say she's the best healer in the game currently.
So that's an S. Jeff the Land Shark. Jeff is probably one of the most talked about characters I've ever seen because Jeff is very fun to use. Jeff has a healing bubbles that can also give you additional speed, for those who didn't know that. So that's one really good thing I like about Jeff. Jeff has great healing. Jeff can heal Jeff himself by diving under the map, and Jeff obviously could take everyone away, spit out allies, and then spit out enemies off the map, which is for sure what a lot of people must be seeing around when it comes to Jeff. But I think Jeff's solid overall. Jeff could be an S tier. Jeff could be a high A tier. Jeff's just overall a good, easy, fun to use healer. What do you think? S? Or
He's an A tier. I would say A tier.
yeah?
I don't necessarily think he's S tier. Because when he gets dove, his mobility isn't necessarily the best mobility. He can get tracked down and killed relatively quick. He doesn't have a real good self-heal other than when he's underwater, which he can still get hit. As long as he's not getting hit, he heals, but if he's getting hit, his healing doesn't outdo what the damage is getting done to him.
So this is our tier list for season 0, Marvel Rivals. What do you think? Anything need to get changed on it? Anyone needs to be moved around?
Still think Wolverine should be in D tier, personally.
I get it. I think so. I feel like that's fair. I feel like he could go to D.
Because he does struggle in comparison to all the other melee heroes. He's definitely a lower tier when it comes to that.
I think exactly how this is organized is pretty much perfect. All right, so this is it. That's season 0 tier list. If you guys have any comments, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.